music-wise?
You know, every pun under the sun for Corona has been done.
Oh, you're a poet and you don't even know it. Actually, forget puns. How long do you think you and me are going to last?
You and I.
Yeah, are you correcting me already?
Yes.
That's exactly my point. How long do you think we are going to last in this lockdown scenario?
Well, if we practice social distancing, I'm sure we can stretch it to a week.
A week? You're very optimistic.
Welcome to the Shabby And Man podcast. We are partners, parents, podcasters, broadcasters.
And we're everything else in between.
And we are recording this podcast in rather historic times because we've never faced anything like this before in our lifetime.
And that is, we are under a lockdown.
That's right. It is the first weekend of London going into lockdown following the COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak, a global epidemic?
Well, it's a pandemic.
Pandemic, yes. And no one really knows where the solution...
It's actually a contagion.
It is a contagion. It is a pandemic.
Do you know the difference between epidemic and pandemic? So I'm not quite sure. I think epidemic is local and pandemic is global.
Global.
I think.
And
I'm sure someone will correct me.
And we are all either self-isolating or social distancing. We are all staying indoors and we are being told how crucial, how important it is for each one of us to actually play our part in this because we are all in it together. There's absolutely no difference between countries, cultures, rich, poor, white, black. Everyone has to really play their part in order for us to tide over this.
It affects everyone, yeah.
We were talking about, let's first start by bigging up the real heroes of society everywhere in the world. They're being termed...
I think we've discovered that it's not the bankers and the hedge fund managers and all.
Yeah.
The real heroes are...
The key workers.
The key workers.
And they obviously happen to be the medical staff, first and foremost. Doctors, nurses, those who are running ambulances, those who are porters, carers.
Also, there's a huge support staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even delivery drivers.
Pharmacies.
Checkout people in the supermarkets.
Anybody who's allowing us to still have food on our table, still have access to medical help, still have a semblance of normal life while all of us are social distancing. Any person who's doing that, I think, is a hero right now. And so, endless gratitude, I think, from everyone. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing because not everyone can afford to work from home, right? I'm going to be working from home, broadcasting from home starting tomorrow.
I was just wondering, so if you're going to be broadcasting from home, does that mean that me and the kids and all have to follow a studio protocol? And
a red light, we'll get that as well, yes.
Yeah, or can we just walk past and switch the kettle on?
I suppose you could when I'm playing a song, but when I'm chit-chatting, definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
But
you seem to chit-chat a lot.
I do. Loads of people are going to be working from home, right? And they're talking about flattening the curve. They're talking about vaccination maybe sometime in the future.
I think it's a long way off the vaccination.
Yeah. But let's have a look at the positive aspect of this, if at all there is one, because we have to believe that the cloud has come with a silver lining. People are already talking about Italy, which went into lockdown a few weeks before London, how dolphins have returned to the canals of Venice, how Mother Nature is healing, and people staying away has had a considerable impact on
that's the thing.
nature.
Many people have not stayed away. They have not heeded government advice.
Yeah. But for those of us who are looking
at... I've not seen all the stories on the news about Bondi Beach in Australia.
Yeah. And they're saying that maybe they have waited too long to actually make it a government directive.
I think it's shut up crazy in New York.
Let's look
today,
at...
One more thing. Today in India, I think there's a total Janta something.
Band.
Janta Band.
Yeah.
7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Everybody's talking about Janta Band and banging off pots and pans at 5 o'clock for resonance and harmony and all of that. But let's look at what do we plan to do in this period of... social
It's going to be very tough, I think,
it's going to be very tough.
Us.
We are here with a teenager and a preteen.
Nearly a teen. Next month.
And I think we are going through what everyone is going through, but circumstances are going to be different. What are you going to do to stay positive, to stay healthy in this time that we've been given to self-quarantine? What is on your agenda? Let's start with that.
Try my hardest to avoid you three.
That's not going to be possible.
That's not going to be possible.
Unless you go out for a walk in isolation safely.
I think in Italy yesterday, they've actually stopped going out for exercise now. Because they're saying even that's not working.
Even that's not working, that's right. Which is going to make even more challenging, right? Among the key workers, we left out teachers.
Of course.
I'm so impressed with the way that teachers are not only going to be in schools, because vulnerable kids, schools haven't closed for them. They still have to go into school. And very impressed with the way, speaking about our children specifically, because we know how their coursework has already been set out for the next week. Both kids have already got it on.
And the surprising thing is, they've also got exercise, fitness classes as well.
Yeah.
Online.
So everybody can kind of tune in at the same time and do them at home.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's like PE.
Like PE lesson.
Bit of physical education.
Yeah. The first thing that you said to me was, right, I want access to my guitar one more time. I want to start playing the guitar one more time.
Why was that vetoed?
That wasn't vetoed. It's just that, when you're so busy living your life, going to work, going to school, the weekend is the only time you have for indulgence and for activities that are...
But this is not a weekend anymore.
It's not a weekend. I was reminded of Maggie Smith from Downton Abbey when she said, and what is a weekend? This is exactly how it's going to be. Every day is going to feel like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we have to go out of our way and devise a strategy to not completely flip out and lose it. What do you think? What do you think that strategy might be? I'm looking forward to reading all these
books. What do you think that strategy would be? And I'm looking forward to... I'll tell you what I think that strategy should be.
Bolo.
I think there should be... I don't actually know. Tell me.
No, you said. You said baat karne de, karo baat.
Maybe we can play board games. I've got so much stuff to read.
Yeah.
All these box sets that we've never watched and probably will never watch.
Yeah.
From the Game of Thrones.
Theoretically, we could catch up.
We could catch up.
Yeah.
We've seen none of them.
Finally, we'll know what people are talking about.
The Wire.
The Wire, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. We must be in a minority. Sopranos. The West Wing. Going very, very far back now.
The West Wing is a long time ago.
Yeah?
So Sopranos, actually.
We're in the minority there, so theoretically we could catch up on all of that. They're also saying that eating healthy, this is the time for you to rustle up meals because you've got all the time in the world. Cook from scratch, rustle up meals.
Isn't there a flaw in that theory?
Which is?
Khana mile to. If you can queue up and get something, only then you can make it.
No. That's as in what they're saying is don't eat so many processed food, meals, because this is the time to boost your immunity the best you can. And nothing compares
to let anyone know who doesn't know that in London specifically, the shops have virtually run out of everything.
Yeah.
There's queues outside.
Yeah.
The good thing they're doing now is they've
got a system in place.
They've got a system where the first hour is for elderly people.
Yeah.
They're also going to give time for health workers so that, when they come home after the shift, they have something to
And
eat.
the government has gone out of its way to reiterate the masses, saying that there is enough supply. It's not a supply problem. If people don't go out and buy like crazy, then there is enough to go around. It's just that all of us have to be... Yeah, don't hoard, don't stockpile, be sensible.
But it is a bit of a catch-22 because one side... You don't want to hoard.
Yeah.
And then you hear that there's going to be a lockdown. You can't go out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So naturally people get a bit worried.
I think that is where us being Asians, rustling up Asian food from scratch, I'm sure Italians would say the same, Japanese and Koreans and everybody would say it's the same for our cuisine as well. But because we are Asian, I feel that 3-4-5 mahine of dal chawal every single day is not such a bad thing. Dal chawal sabzi made from scratch, made in small batches.
We'll be eating khichdi.
You'll be eating khichdi.
I thought you were going to marrow that joke. Which is? That Asians anyway buy things in bulk.
Yeah. But now
big
it's
bag
5 kg, 10 kg
of chawal and atta.
Yeah. We've never done that somehow because our food has been very varied, right? We eat
We
Western
live next
food.
door to a supermarket. Basically.
Yeah, and we eat Asian, we eat Western, we eat oven cooked, we eat fresh made, home cooked, all of that. It's a combination which I'm sure is true of everyone. But I'm looking forward to really brushing up on my Asian cuisine skills, Indian food skills, and therefore I need to, I think, read finally all these books that I have accumulated on
oh God, रोज एक dish Instagram में देखना पड़ेगा.
रोज एक dish Instagram में देखना पड़ेगा. So that's what people are saying, that physical distancing but virtual bonding, helping each other out and giving people a sense of community using technology. And it's been the same for Mother's Day today. They're saying that, the person who rushes to your aid, your mum, at any time of need, keep her at a distance today for her sake. That is your way of showing her how much you love her. And so Mother's Day has been a virtual Mother's Day for so many people around the world, those who have mums like us who are over 70.
And both our mums are not in the same country.
In the
as
same
us at the
country,
moment.
exactly. So it's been a virtual conversation for us anyway. But I also feel that those whose mums are not over 70, it's time for them to give them an extra tight hug. Their kids to give their mum an extra tight hug, because we have to be in this together to be able to get through. You're a bit quiet there. What's the matter?
Exactly. It's called reflection. I was thinking about family time, that at least we'll get a chance maybe to watch movies together. Though, unfortunately, none of us like the same thing.
That's right.
It's going to be very hard.
We have to make an effort to watch things together, play
kids-
board games.
I feel sorry for the kids because they're at that age right now when the people they hate the most in their life are probably their mom and dad.
That's right.
And they're stuck with them.
Yes.
It's like
So rather than all of us watching our own thing on there...
Shred and Froud, whatever it's called. I'm getting a...
Yes. So rather than all of us watching our own things on our laptops and smartphones and computers, we have to make family time to make sure that we're doing something together.
Did I say Shred and Froud? I mean Shroud and Freud.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
We have to... Board games. We used to love board games as a family. Not for a while. Not since the older one became a teenager and threw a strop. But he does like to play Monopoly as well. Monopoly is torture for me. But we have to, I think, fish out all our board games and start playing board games. And you were saying something about Netflix and YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I was saying that Netflix has very kindly tried to reduce their broadband, their broadwidth. Their bandwidth. What did I say? Broadwidth?
Yes.
I'm really not with it right now. Yeah. So they've reduced their broadwidth.
Okay, we'll write it off as a lockdown effect.
Yeah, they'll...
Not a knock-on effect, a lockdown
They've
effect.
reduced their broadwidth so that there's more data available. More people can log on, which is nice.
I think it's...
The quality's gone down a bit.
I think everybody is going out of their way, those who provide society all the crucial services.
Could you tell? Sorry, I'm not with it. I've been in your company for what, an hour?
I know. How long do you think this is going to last? We have no idea. But
this is what, day one, day two? Day two.
This is day 2 of the lockdown. But everybody is going out of their way, from the government to businesses to people providing services like broadband, Wi-Fi, all of that. They're going out of their way to make it easier.
Where credit's due. I mean, there's many things you can criticize the government for.
Yes.
The fact that there are not enough masks, there are not enough testing.
Yeah.
But at least they're trying to put a package together to help the unemployed.
0-hour workers, the self-employed people.
People who have actually lost their jobs.
Yeah. Overnight, their place of work has
telling
closed
employers
down.
that if you don't sack them, we'll pay 80% of the salary.
Absolutely. I think these are the benefits of being in the first world, and this is where I feel I want all my family and friends. I wish the whole world was a developed first world country with access to all these resources, because there are going to be a lot of countries which will struggle more than others.
Of course, yes.
And do you think we would finally find the time to do a podcast more frequently than we do now? Technically, on paper, theoretically, yes.
Yes, we have all the time in the world.
We have all the time in the world. But something tells me it's not going to happen. Maybe we'll try and do it more frequently than we do now, which is what, 2-3 podcasts.
We should do one every second day.
We should do one every second day. And the situation, the scenario being as fluid as it is, everything is changing every single day. One day we are told, going out and getting a bit of fresh air is good. The next day somebody else in some other government, some other part of the world is saying not good. So everybody is trying their level best to follow exactly what they're being asked to do and still find a way of staying sane, staying together, encourage each other, find that silver lining in this dark, dark cloud, and pray and hope that all of us make it through to the other side without too many lives being lost.
Yeah, and of course, stay safe. Don't travel if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Be careful out there.
Absolutely. And don't get together with your family and friends unless it is virtually. Which brings me to one more thing, by the way, before we go. Are we the only ones who don't know how to Skype or FaceTime on a multi-screen with 6, 7, 8 people at the same time? I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
I think someone is going to teach us very soon.
But I think that's something we need to figure out very soon as well, right? I wouldn't be surprised if your dad already knows it's sitting in India and he'll be the one telling us.
You mean you and me have never been for a conference in our lives?
Nope. What do you mean conference?
कहते हैं ना conference call.
Conference call तो बहुत किए हैं, लेकिन video conferencing इतने सारे लोगों के साथ नहीं किया है. चलो, I think it's time to wind up now.
Till next time.
Lunch is not going to cook itself. Yeah, are you chopping the vegetables, or are you going to be stirring the pot and then taking the credit for it at the end?
What's the hurry? We've got all the time in the world.
True.